Right, today's topic is about functions. Functions are pretty simple. It's really just an equation that you're given and a number value, and you just plug in a number value in the equation and solve. And that's really all it is. It's very much like when we did our evaluating expressions, in which we had an expression with variables and numbers, and then they give you the value of the variable, and you plug it in and you solve. So the only thing that's going to be different about these ones is that you're going to see things like this, where you have f of x. And all that means is the function of x, okay? So all that really means is, and you're going to see that, and then you're going to see this. That and maybe a number, okay? Now, the key important thing here for solving functions is that whenever a number they give you in the parentheses next to f is what you're going to plug in into x in the actual equation, and then just solve, okay? So let's do an example. F of x equals 2x plus 5 when f, and solve for f of 3, okay? Now, all this means is that you have your thing here, f of 3, okay? So you look here, see how your x is in parentheses here? Well, now your 3 is in parentheses, okay? So that means in your equation here, all the x's you see gets plugged in with a number. So we plug in our 3 into the x. Now, what you're not going to do is worry about this, okay? This part here, we're not worried about. It doesn't have anything to do with the equation whatsoever. You're only solving here. So if we rewrite this 2, and remember it's attached to the number, it's multiply. So 2 times 3 plus 5. And then we're just order of operations, right? 2 times 3 is 6 plus 5 equals 11, okay? There's none of this, that's none of that. It's just here, okay? What I don't want to see is this. Don't do this. Do not do, and that's this. This is all wrong, okay? Don't do that, okay? Like I said, we're not worried about this, okay? We're just worried about here, all right? So let's try a different example. I'll show you. F of x equals x squared plus 4x when f equals 5, okay? So once again, we have our number here. It's 5. That means every time we see an x, we plug in 5, okay? Remember, not worried about this, okay? So don't worry about that. So x, 5. So now it's 5 squared plus 4 times 5, okay? So we just plug this in here and plug this in here, okay? Same number. And then you just solve. 5 squared is 25 plus 4 times 5 is 20. 25 plus 20 equals 45. Okay, it's really simple, okay? It's not complicated at all. Now, what you're gonna see is when we do the work, is you're gonna see this. They're gonna give you a function, okay? Like this. X squared minus 3x plus 5. And then they're gonna give you this. They're gonna give you options. F of -2, f of 1, and f of 0, okay? So they're gonna give you options. And all it means is that you're gonna solve this equation 3 times, okay? So first time you're gonna put the -2 in there, second time you're gonna put the 1 in there, the third time you're gonna put 0 in there. So for example, the first time is -2, so plug that in. -2 squared minus 3 times -2 plus 5. And then you solve, okay? So -2 squared is 4. -3 times -2 is +6 plus 5. Add them up. 4 plus 6 plus 5 is 15. Okay? Now, you're going to have this, okay? 1's going to go in. So your first one is 15. Now you're going to put 1. 1 squared minus 3 times 1 plus 5, okay? Now, solve. 1 squared is 1, minus 3 plus 5. 1 minus 3 is -2, plus 5 is 3. And then our last example, so this one is 3. And then our last example is 0. So 0 squared minus 3 times 0 plus 5. Well, 0 squared is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. Plus 5, your answer is 5. So this is going to be 5. Okay? Very simple. You're given the number, plug it into the letters, and solve.